Vespa sort of created this whole revolution where creating a motorcycle that wasn't for motorcycle people, and then there's a chance to really do that again. I think now that you've got electric and there's this whole new level of accessibility to it. My name's Luke. I'm one of the founders of FTN Motion. So we're based here in Hamilton, New Zealand, and yeah, we make electric motorcycles. Yeah, we basically got a BMX frame from the dump and an old motor and some batteries off Trade Me. And yeah, spent a few weekends sticking the whole thing together. The real light bulb moment for us was we put this thing together, turned the thing on, and it was so simple. Just that those core elements of an electric motorcycle with the motor controller, the hub motor, the battery pack and the throttle. First objective is how do we build a motorcycle that was, I suppose, free in every sense of the word and could outperform its petrol equivalents. I think with the design aesthetic, it was around capturing that sort of balance between something familiar, kind of looks like a motorcycle, but also it's its own thing and shows that it sort of belongs in the century. I think that was the first part for us. And then in terms of the wider ambition, I think for the company beyond that, it's how do we take this to the world? The next stage of the journey was figuring out how to not just be an engineer, but we kind of saw that things weren't going to progress if we were still just doing this as an after-work thing. So I was like, okay, how do we quit our job? We need some money. So we got into an incubator program in Wellington at Creative HQ. So we managed to find, I suppose, people who are passionate about the same things as we were. Electric vehicles, cutting carbon emissions, but also doing just cool things in New Zealand and like people wanting to support I suppose, manufacturing and innovation in New Zealand. So that's where we found a really strong backing of local investors. From day one, really, we wanted, I think the idea with FTN was how do we support innovation in New Zealand and how can we keep as much of the engineering and manufacturing here as possible. Our frames get made across the road by Dole Industries. They've been, I think, since the 80s, I think. They've been manufacturing and selling their products globally from Hamilton, and they just got just an incredible level of experience there. Our local laser cutters and machine shops have been able to match prices from China and actually do a really efficient, high quality job with that fast turnaround. It's one of those things that's actually worked out to be a really good business decision. Through the COVID times and the post-COVID and like just all the sort of volatility around shipping and it's actually been a massive advantage to have on-hand manufacturers that can do quick turnarounds. In terms of iteration, it's been a huge advantage keeping a lot of the manufacturing local, and we've ultimately ended up with a better product. After university, I ended up doing a big motorcycle trip on a low-capacity motorcycle from India through to the UK. I'll be going through some of the most congested cities in the world, like Delhi, and you don't have that frustration when you're sitting in a car, because you're actually part of the world and you can just sort of flow through everything. That for me really, convinced me of the power of the low-capacity motorcycle and seeing how much it's a core part of the world, really. We could already see how, in terms of that sort of low-speed, low-capacity motorcycle, that electric was going to outperform it in the very near future. The battery technology was already there. And the main issue we saw really was actually how do you just make something that looks good? So if you can bring in the aesthetic elements and while not sacrificing that functionality, then that's got to be the future of urban motorcycles. So that was one element, and the other element is obviously just getting rid of the emissions, because you've got this machine that's already, it's associated with freedom in every sense of the word. It felt like if you can build that into motorcycles without losing that kind of analog feel, that soul that people attach to motorcycles, I think that was the main challenge for our design brief. I think we often forget when we get into the details, it's just how fun it is as a way to get around a city. For me personally, like, motorcycles sort of represent like one of the most liberating innovations that humans have ever made. I've now got over, I think, 250 bikes on the road in New Zealand. and we've just launched in Australia. So yeah, we've got our first few bikes over there. So still learning lots, plenty of mistakes, but a really exciting future ahead.